Since we have a quorum represented, I'm going to go ahead and start. You'll see through the camera when Laura Shepard joins us. It's my understanding she's on her way. Okay.
That's great.
So Eileen's already started the recording. Good morning, I'm Stephen Datz, Chair of the Awards Committee. I'd like to call the April 13th, 2023 awards meeting to order. We have a physical quorum represented by Ricky Erickson, Joe Arfano, and myself. Jackie Shield is representing Haivu, and she's joining us online. The Office of General Counsel is represented by Rebecca Levy. Budget's represented by Stephanie Neely. Before we begin reviewing today's agenda, I'll note that there isn't anyone physically here from the public, so we'll go ahead and proceed. Did we receive any email or correspondence prior to the meeting?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let the record show we did not receive any public comment prior to the awards committee meeting. I'll pause for a moment to allow callers joining us online to unmute and speak up. Hearing no comments, we'll proceed with today's regular agenda. We have items 1 through 5 and 7 through 11 that have been reviewed by procurement and budget. I'll note that item 6 has been deferred. These items are now ready to be reviewed by the awards committee, beginning with item 1, representing the minutes from April 6, 2023 awards committee meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to be discussed? All right, hearing none, may I get a motion to approve award item 1?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Joe Arfano, a second from Ricky Erickson. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes are approved as presented. I'll pass it over to Jenny McCollum, our Chief Procurement Officer, to present each of the remaining award items before I ask for a motion, beginning with award item 2.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 2 is a contract increase. This is for our water, wastewater project support services. The recommended awardee is Kevel Enterprises, Inc. in the amount of $8,004,122.90. This is in our first original term of 5 years. So this takes us through June 30th of 2024. And it's noted in the background that the contract will experience a shortfall for several reasons, including higher than expected attrition of JEA full-time employees, significant growth of the water wastewater capital program, including addition of the surface water discharge elimination program, expansion of the septic tank phase-out program, and escalation or increases in wages and salary for the planned new hires. The increase includes all currently employed staff, 6 future positions as part of the approved resource plan for project engineering, and the addition of 3 safety specialists due to the large amount of construction work that is currently underway. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, this is Ricky. So these 3 safety specialists, are these contract safety specialists or permanent employee safety specialists? I'm a little confused on this.
I'll let the business chime in on that.
Contract. These are all contract.
Right. These are all contract employees. Okay, thank you. All right.
You guys didn't even have to unmute. It's good.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 2?
So moved.
And a second?
Second. Jackie Shields.
Thank you. We have a motion from Joe Arfano, a second from Jackie Shield. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 3.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 3 is a request for proposal. This is for the Fulton Cut transmission line raising and tower replacement project. This is a design build, which is why you'll see this as a request for proposal. Quanta Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC is our recommended awardee in the amount of $1,696,036.44. The entire project is expected to be completed September 2026. This is just for the engineering, kind of the beginning phases of this design build. We went to bid and we received 4 proposals. The proposed project total is approximately $43 million. Of this amount, we are estimating about $12 million for construction, a little over $28 million for structures, foundation materials, and about $2.8 million for engineering support during construction, project management, real estate permits, and project outreach. The engineering design phase is expected to reach 60% design by the end of Q4 of 2023, and then we will move towards the guaranteed maximum price. And I'll note that this project is an FDOT grant funded to the port and is reimbursable to JEA on a per payment basis. Any questions or comments?
Jenny, I would add that it's not only FDOT, but also City of Jacksonville. It's
Okay.
not entirely FDOT grant funded.
Perfect. Thank you. We wanted to note that this did have some grant funding associated with it. And we're working through with the port all the details of what goes into the grant funding and the reportables and reimbursements, et cetera. So we are ahead of that from that perspective.
Do we need to add?
I would add that because it's not technically correct the way it reads right now.
Do we know how much is coming from the city?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. We can add that it's city and FDOT grant funded and just leave it vague.
I think that would be fine.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
This is Rodney. One thing, I just got an email from Risk about the consideration for OSIP policy for the additional insurance. So that's a couple $700,000 for $40 million in insurance. That's the current estimate that they have, and we're going to set up a meeting between the risk management, and I want to have obviously Rebecca OGC online so we can talk through what that policy might look like. And then once we have that, it'll the plan would be to take that to the port for consideration.
Thanks, Rodney. I think that's the last piece of the negotiation we're working on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. And I'd like the notes to reflect that Laura Shepard has joined us as well. And I'd like to get a motion to approve Award 3 with amendments.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Ricky Erickson, a second from Joe Arpano. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 4.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 4 is a request for proposal. This is for 2 different transformers. One is for Water Street and one is for Sterrett Road. The recommended awardee is Prolec GE Waukesha Inc. in the amount of $2,919,056. This project is expected to be completed in April of 2026. JEA received 3 proposals and the evaluation was based 100% on the evaluated price. You guys have seen these come through before. Prolec GE their original submission had a 36 to 39 month lead time, which is acceptable for the Water Street T2 transformer. And then JEA was able to firm up delivery for the Sterrett Road 2T transformer to February of 2026 to meet the project delivery date. The award amount includes the base equipment price and installation, and is included in the unit price for Sterrett Road. And then the Water Street T2 transformer includes an additional $33,000 installation price option because that location has some obstructions to install and requires special handling to install the transformer on the pad. So we have some cushion in there as an option. And then I'll note that these transformers do have price adjustments through the completion of manufacturing, and they are attached to indices. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 4? And a second?
Second.
Second. Jackie Shield.
We have a motion from Ricky Erickson and a second from Joe Arfano. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 5.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 5 is a contract increase. This is our engineering services for protection and controls for the engineering group. Lidos Engineering LLC is one of the recommended awardees in the amount of $1,322,812. And then we have Power Engineers, Inc. in the amount of $628,146. The original term is 3 years, which takes us through September 30th of 2025. The original award was an 80-10-10 split, going to Lidos, 80% Power Engineers, and Black and Beach 10-10. This request is to add funds to allow continued use through the contract original term. And there's a list of projects as backup to show how they came to the award amount. And then I'll note that throughout the contract term, after the first year, the rates are subject to CPI adjustment annually, as requested by the company. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 5?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
We have a motion from Ricky Erickson, a second from Laura Shepis. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 7.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 7 is a change order. This is for the Oracle MDM support and critical gap services assessment and consulting. The recommended awardee is Red Clay Consulting, Inc. in the amount of $2,950,000. Crossing fingers, this project is going to be completed in February of 2024. I'll note in November of 2022, JEA and Red Clay performed a risk assessment to better focus the objectives of the C2M implementation project. The result of that analysis indicated that the primary focus needed to resolve the technical risks of utilities' outdated e-meter system, which is the MDM system, and to implement the M side of the Oracle solution. So this change order request is to add additional funds for additional work related to changing the scope from Oracle customer to meter implementation project oversight to only support of the meter data management portion of the upgrade. This change in project direction removes Oracle from the project and places Red Clay as the primary vendor implementer who is responsible for providing not only the project oversight and delivery, but development services, testing services, organization change and training, as well as post-go-live services. There is a note in February of 2023, JEA reduced the Oracle PO for this work by $230,000 since they are no longer doing this work. That was what was left as part of their contract. JEA will still have to pay Oracle about $100K for the software tool, but that is a result of the change versus ongoing payment for the C2M licenses. But if JEA had stayed with Oracle services on a T&M effort, we would have been paying significantly more to Oracle than what is being paid to Red Clay. Any questions, comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve award item 7?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion from Laura Shepis, a second from Joe Arpano. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 8.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 8 is a request for proposal. This is for West Side Service Center Glove Lab and Admin Building Design Services. PQH Group Design Inc. is our recommended awardee in the amount of $171,900. We expect the design to be completed in October of 2023. We only received one proposal. We had made multiple attempts on this one to get additional participation. We extended it by 2 weeks and then extended it another week. But we did reach out to the other vendors that attended the mandatory pre-proposal meeting and received feedback that they were not submitting due to workload issues. There were some concerns about contract administration and unfamiliarity of the scope of work. So the proposed, we decided to move forward. We've worked with PQH in the past. They've done good work. And the proposed fees were approximately 14% lower than our business unit estimate. And I'll note that the amount includes the contract administration alternate from the fee proposal in the amount of about $28,750. So PQH, as I said, has successfully completed similar design services back in 2022, and they kept their rates the same through these negotiations. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 8?
So moved.
I heard Laura first, and I'm taking Jackie as a second. We have a motion from Laura Shepis, a second from Jackie Shu. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 9.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 9 is a renewal. This is for the residual hauling and disposal. Merrill Brothers, Inc. is our recommended awardee in the amount of $1,555,818. This request is for a contract increase in renewal for residual hauling and disposal from various JEA sites to the allowed disposal sites that we have listed. The unit prices were fixed for the first 3 years of the contract, and unit price increase was approved in December of 2021 based on trucking CPI. The current increased usage of the contract is due primarily to the biosolids dryer at Buckman being out of service, and JEA is using Merrill Brothers as an additional resource for hauling of the biosolids from Buckman until the dryer returns to service. The current contract expires May of 2023, and during the renewal process, a 20% price increase was negotiated. Before we allowed the 20% increase, the new rates were compared to other Florida utilities receiving similar services and deemed reasonable. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve award item 9?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion from Joe Arpano, a second from Ricky Erickson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present award item 10.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 10 is a contract extension and a partial ratification. This is for our maintenance, repair, and overhaul material blankets, or MRO blankets that we have. There is a note about the partial ratification to World Electric Supply and JEA Inc. The three contracts that we have today, one is with Granger. We're asking for an extension and increase in the contract amount of $100,000. World Electric Supply in the amount of $551,566.73, and then JEA Inc. in the amount of $527,100. This will take us through June 21st of 2023. So 3-month extension. And this is to allow time for implementation of the new contracts to be awarded. So we've had our opening. We had to extend this one a couple of times due to low vendor participation. But ultimately, JEA did receive good participation with 6 respondents. So those efforts were worth the extension. And it included the 3 incumbents, but it also included an additional 3 new MRO vendors. So the extension of 3 months will allow time to finish negotiations, award, and implement new contracts with the vendors, while ensuring continuity of services with the existing vendors and blankets that we have. And the ratification is needed to account for spend that exceeded the previous amount on the contracts. The contract increases are based on current spend rates with each vendor projected over 3 months. So just to note, we've come a long way with these. All this used to be put on the P card. So this is, one of the efforts to get the spend off the P cards, and we've done a great job moving the business off of that onto these blankets. Any questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 10?
So moved.
And a second? We have a motion from Ricky Erickson, a second from Laura Shepis. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it back to Jenny to present our final award item for today.
Thank you. Through the chair, y'all have been quiet today. Maybe this one will stir up some conversation. This is a single source award. We have 3 Altech L42A over center bucket trucks and 1 Freightliner DM47B Derrick Digger for fleet capital requirements for FY23 for replacement vehicles in the electric group. Global Rental Company, Inc. is a recommended awardee in the amount of $439,599. We expect this to be completed May of 2023. Pretty quick turnaround, and you'll understand why when I go through the background. So JEA Fleet and Procurement recently talked to Altech and Terex to get better understanding of the market for the aerial trucks in preparation for an upcoming bid. Because of the continued supply chain issues, Altech currently has a 48 to 70 month lead time, depending on the truck type. And then Terex has a 24 to 36 month lead time for similar offerings. So let that sink in just for a second. So JEA approached the Global Rental Company, Inc. about the possibility of purchasing the equipment that we have been renting from them. And there's some details about how much we're paying and when we started the rentals. But the Global Rental Company agreed to apply 50% of the rental costs already paid to the cost of purchasing the 3 trucks. For the Derrick Digger, they apply 50% of the first year's rental and 30% of subsequent rental fees paid towards the purchase price. They also proposed to sell JEA an extended warranty for 2 of the newer L42A trucks. JEA, as a note, would have continued to rent these 4 trucks until the new trucks arrive to meet the needs of the business. These trucks still have quite a bit of useful lifespan, up to, we're thinking 5 to 7 more years. So it is more cost effective to purchase these vehicles and incorporate them into our fleet based off of these negotiations. There's a little bit of history from pricing. So the average price of the 3 that we're buying is about $103,000 each, while the last paid price for a similar truck with less features was about $162,000. Excuse me. The derrick truck cost is about $122,000, which is much lower than the last price paid of about $315,000. So based on the immediate availability of the trucks, the lower cost to purchase these and renting them for the next 5 years, and the availability of the extended warranty of the 2 trucks, we deem this is the best interest of JEA to move forward with. So this was a good effort from fleet and procurement. Great job, guys.
Yeah, agreed. And here's another example of a lot of maneuvering and adjusting to get us to a better place.
Very good example.
Yeah.
Agreed, but isn't it misleading to comment on the current purchase price versus a new piece of a new truck? Isn't that what you're doing here? So it's misleading.
We're showing some sort of price comparison to show what we're paying versus what we would have paid for new. But those are also older trucks that we paid for a while back. So it's kind of the best comparison we can do to show what we're paying versus what we had paid. So it's not a direct comparison in by any means. It's just a price comparison to give a little bit of an assurance as to what we negotiated and how it compares. We'd also have to wait quite a bit, and we'd be paying for the rentals while we waited for new trucks.
Does this get us out of the rental business?
I would say yes.
No.
This,
For these.
For this type of truck.
not even for these type of trucks. It may get us out currently,
Yeah.
but with the current supply chain issue, I would say we're going to be out of it forever. But I think
No, and we have rental blanket agreements with multiple companies that fleet can utilize when we need equipment for multitude of reasons.
We are using this lens though to review all of our rentals. We look to see when we can turn them in, when we can possibly buy them, if we're needing to based upon the supply chain. We're trying to explore a lot of different options, but on these, as Jenny said, the lead time is pushed out very long on these, and was an opportunity for us to take it out of O&M and capitalize this to save the company money. But as Joe had stated, we're buying these as used prices, and we're comparing them to new just for a reference. We're not stating that we're getting it half price. It's just these are about what the marketplace is, and we did receive some concessions from the vendor, so we thought that it was better than even buying used trucks in the market. And we've been the user of most of these trucks the whole time, so we understand the maintenance practices of them. So, but we have a lot of rentals.
Just to maybe you ought to add much lower than the last new purchase price, just to inform the reader, if there are any, that it is a used versus new comparison.
Sure, we
Thanks.
make that change. No problem. Any other comments, questions? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Yeah, I'll elaborate. There is a need to continue to rent, not solely based upon the lead time of trucks, but that is a big portion of it. But expansions is a part of it, right? It's unforeseen expansion, and those expansions need to occur before the lead times that are out there in the market. So we don't say that we need to buy a truck, with these 4 to 6 years, to buy a truck, we don't get that notice that we're going to expand 6 years in advance, the fleet. So, that's one of the challenges, and that's what drives some of these rentals, and we thought it was a good opportunity.
Great.
Hey, Ricky, can you work on that 6 years out?
I'll work on that if Lee can get me instead of having 4 trucks down at one time, they work on that aspect of it.
Oh,
All right, let's move along.
We're working on that too.
We'll
Close
we'll
discussion.
work on all of those things. It's really, an awareness of what the market's doing right now though too. So just, those lead times we knew they were about 2 to 3 years, but to get the feedback that we are 4 to 5 years out is crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy, and that's some of the issue we're facing now is we're having to extend the life of these things, and they're coming, to wear out, and that's why they're down. Some of them is they're older, and we're having to keep them where before we haven't had to keep them. So, I think it's
Right.
a good thing.
okay.
And our preference is, all tech, but looking at holistically what the market is telling us right now, we do have an option with Terex that we can continue to look at with shorter lead times. So there might have to be, some concessions on which vehicles for just kind of the immediate needs with shorter lead times.
Are they a
as
viable
we-
option in this space? What, Terex?
Yeah, Derek's is.
They are a viable option. Yeah.
I was familiar with their heavy construction and mining equipment, but not something like that.
We've rented Terex buckets before, and they
Okay.
perform fine. There's usually, they're just not a little bit, long story short, they're just usually more expensive when we go out to market.
Yeah, and we particularly we've bought a lot of Terex derrick diggers. They've been pretty competitive in that space, on their buckets as noted. They've traditionally been a little longer, but it may make sense because you're buying a unit in that 2-year time frame as opposed to 4 to 6 year time frame, and buying an asset. If we put an order in today, there's a lot of inflation that happens between now and 6 years from now.
So we'll keep working with fleet in the business to let them know what the options are and try to meet those needs. And I know they're trying to look out as far as they can. So anyway, I'll pass it back to the chair.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 11 with amendments?
So moved.
So moved. Laura, we just keep stepping on top of each other. I don't know.
Just 1 second quicker. All right, we have a motion from Laura Shepis, a second from Jackie Shield. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is adopted. The entire agenda representing items 1 through 5 and 7 through 11 is approved for April 13, 2023. Is there any other business to come before the awards committee at this time? All right, hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Y'all have a good
everyone.
day.
Have a great week. Have a great weekend.